Hi Sagittarius, welcome to July 2018. Thank you so much for being here. It is going to be an interesting month, no doubt about it. If you guys are feeling agitated, it's because you have two very conflicting energies going on, Jupiter versus Mars. Jupiter is just in the very last stages of its retrograde, about to move direct on July 10th. And it's going to give you like this sense of like, come on, let's go, let's move forward. And Mars is going to be kind of restraining you a little bit. Now, you have a reputation for having a little bit of a sharp tongue. Sometimes Sagittarius stereotype is kind of, just say what they need to say whenever they need to say it. There's not a lot of filter, depending on your natal chart, it could be different. But in general, and this month is no exception, but you need to understand that people are extremely fragile, people are extremely delicate, and you could just be doing your normal thing, but people could be really sensitive to what you have to say. There's clearly an energy floating around you with maybe one or two people that is kind of the highlight of the month, and that relationship too is also quite delicate. It's really a time for you to analyze your friendships, specifically analyze your circles, analyze the people that you are around on a consistent basis, and it would probably behoove you to associate with people that are more on your level. You have been pushed with this Jupiter in your 12th house. You have been pushed in the realm of spirituality, and you have grown made insurmountable strides. And the separation between you and others that haven't grown as fast is going to become more and more apparent for the rest of this year. And it's sort of starting with this Jupiter going direct. I'm going to leave you with that. Okay, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, not feeling too great. So let's go ahead and get into the cards, all right? Thanks so much. Bye. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your July reading. Thank you guys so much for being here. So Jupiter is online for sure, 100%. Jupiter is kind of the name of the game. And as it moves to its station position, finishing out retrograde, it can really do a number on just kind of like your irritability, It can be annoying, it can be frustrating, it can be like something that needs to be dealt with, let's say that. 10 of Coins. So much is happening around you, So much is going on in the outside world. There is still a lot of activity. The work is likely busy. Your family is likely making certain demands of you. You are seeing a lot of stuff going on outside. And yet, again, with Jupiter in that 12th house, there is a very detached nature about you. Everyone else's feelings, everyone else's emotions, in some weird way, there's like this energetic field between you and other people. It's not to say that you're not, still caring and doing that beautiful Sagittarian thing that you do, right? Give, give, give. Not to say that you aren't still doing that, but there's a detachment. Especially if you're dealing with people that you're really not that into or you're really not that invested in. It's just kind of Sagittarius in your own world. Sagittarius is such an interesting quality because you have the introvert and the extrovert, and they operate at different times. So like at one moment you could be the life of the party, going super fun, totally have your heart on your sleeve, and then in other moments you can be very private and require isolation and require meditation time and really need to eject yourself from the world altogether. To be honest, this month might be a really good month for you to eject yourself from the world, simply so you don't say things that you'll maybe regret, okay? We're getting a card of Sagittarius reversed and a card of Aquarius, Temperance and the Star. Sagittarius, Aquarius, okay. Turbulence I often see with the Temperance reverse, where there is a need to find equilibrium. You are getting kind of thrown against the wall, I think, in terms of the emotional side. Not only do we have all the water trine and even kind of the earth qualities coming online as Venus enters into Virgo later in the month, or well, actually like July 10th. So we've got this femininity, you know, and unless you have a lot of feminine qualities in your chart, you know, you'll be fine. But if you don't, the feminine energy, the internal energy, the intuitive stuff is going to kind of throw you for a loop. And you might not necessarily be fully in alignment. You're feeling the agitation of Jupiter wanting to come back home. After 12, 13 years of absence, it's time to embrace the home planet, right? It's time to embrace that recharge, if you will. And as Jupiter will come in contact with your sun next year, you're going to feel like, oh, I can breathe again. I can expand again. And while you are no stranger to Scorpio energy, and you can handle it very well, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's really where you like to be, unless, like I said, unless you have a lot of Scorpio in your natal chart or something like that, right? The star reversed is, there's just a twinge of pessimism, you guys, which I don't like to see with Sagittarius, right? There's a twinge of like maybe too much realism than you guys normally exhibit. The star in reverse is a card of spirituality. And sometimes you can experience so much spiritual growth all at once in a very short period of time, which I suspect is what this Jupiter retrograde has really been about for you. So you've experienced all this spiritual growth all at once, and your separation from the norm, your separation from all your people, it was like so fast and so rapid. And in a way, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm a different person and I can't quite really get back to where I was, but I also don't really want to. But at the same time, like that was my familiar life. That was my life. And now I'm different. All of a sudden, now I understand the world from a completely new perspective. Now I understand my spirituality a little bit more. I understand my true essence. I understand my soul. And you see people that don't really understand and they're not on your level, and that can really like give you a lot of internal conflict. Because of course you don't want to sacrifice your progress, you know, but you also don't want to sacrifice your friends and your family and the close relationships that you have, you know. But at the same time, if they weren't growing at the rate that you were growing, which I suspect most likely they weren't, you now suddenly find yourself in a position that's very different than you were expecting. And you are being forced and you are being asked to really leave things behind. And as 2019 comes on the docket, you're going to see that, yeah, you are needing to leave things behind. Okay, karma coming in, or what's the word I'm saying? The South Node. Saturn will come into this contact with the South Node next year. And that's really, really going to force us to let go of the past. 9 of Coins reversed. You are so independent. You know, Sagittarius is a very autonomous energy. And people that have a lot of Sagittarius in their chart, they do love the presence of other people and they do love people in general. But you still do operate independently. However, I do feel like there is a grasping a little bit with that 9 of Coins reverse, a grasping for your significant other, a grasping for a love relationship, a grasping for a connection with someone that truly understands, someone that is on the same level. And sometimes when you're in a committed relationship or you have an established friendship or something like that, you can cling to other people. But sometimes that can come off not in such a loving way. I do feel a little bit of a bite coming with you, right? Mars, 3rd house, Aquarius, that's a, you know, That's a sharp placement for Mars, not gonna lie. And you guys do stereotypically, again, not everyone, stereotypically have a reputation for saying whatever, you know? Let's see what else. Friendships, super on the line here. Connections, relationships, very much a focus. And friendships are changing. They are transforming. There's no doubt about it. You know, with Venus in Leo, Mars in Aquarius, they're opposing each other. I mean, not technically, not mathematically, they're not opposing each other, but, you know, they are in opposite signs. And the me versus you, and what I want to do versus what I want, what I value, and, you know, the masculine versus feminine, both internal and external. I am seeing a lot of like women, you know, here, 3 women and a woman here. I think the relationship with women, whether you're a man or woman, is irrelevant, but your relationship with the feminine is also kind of needing development as well. Some friendships might be dissolving. Some friendships might be becoming more solid. You may be rejecting superficial relationships at this time and only spending time with people that really truly matter, right? That really, really truly connect with you. You might be tired, you know, tired of, like I said, your spiritual growth has been so rapid. It's almost been forced down your throat in some kind of ways. You know, your Jupiter in a sign, it's only like 12, 13 months. You know, it's not that long. And so it is a rapid change. Page of Wands, a lot of reversals coming out. Did I pick up the deck upside down? No, didn't. Okay. Just a lot of reversals coming out. It's the nature of a retrograde season. It's not a problem. There is kind of like this, let's call it a stagnation, I suppose. Let's call it a kind of needing to just stand still for a minute. It is so advisable for you to exhibit caution with everything you say and do for the next month. The reason for that is people are hypersensitive, okay? It's not you, it's the other person. It's the people you're dealing with. And people are going to get offended very easily. Energy is delicate, it's finicky, and it's fragile. So you need to exhibit caution. Because of your natural sharpness, Mars 3rd house, okay, there can be a propensity or a desire to just like spit fire, okay? And clearly, if you're feeling a desire to judge someone, if you're feeling a desire to project your beliefs onto someone, I would certainly keep your mouth shut and eject yourself from the situation as quickly as possible, simply to not burn that bridge, because it's very possible that bridges could get burned very easily this month. People are hypersensitive, okay? And it will be the responsibility of the conscious, okay, to maintain peace. It will be the responsibility of the conscious. Sometimes that sucks, you know, because it's like, oh, why do I have to do all the work? Why am I the one that always has to bend? Why am I the one that always has to be flexible, and I'm the one that has to be understanding? Well, you have to be understanding because you understand, right? You understand what spirituality is. You understand what your soul is. You understand what the purpose of life is. And when you come in contact with people who don't, and who are acting out because they don't understand the energies at play, it's kind of like a child, right? When you tell them not to touch the hot stove and you smack their hand away and say don't, and you yell at them and then the kid starts screaming, well, they don't understand that the stove is hot, you know? So here comes the lesson of true unconditional love. Can you love someone with absolutely nothing in return? Can you do that? The way you love your pet, the way you love a child. Because we are dealing with spiritual children. You clearly are no longer a child, clearly. You have made huge strides since last year, absolutely astronomically huge. But with growth comes responsibility. And immature Sagittarians are not going to wear that crown proudly. Immature Sagittarians are going to spit fire. They are going to project their opinions and their ideas and their sort of their way of doing things. And people will not accept it. Three of Coins, a card of collaboration and a card of creativity. I didn't talk too much about this in the beginning, but you know, the Mercury retrograde in Leo, this is a wonderful Mercury retrograde card because it allows for a creative outlet for the energy that you're exhibiting. Thank God for the Mercury retrograde. I'll tell you what, because you guys are going to need it. You're going to need to direct that energy towards something that actually makes a difference. Something that brings about material growth for you, something that brings about got a whole bunch here. I will pull them all out, even though there's way too many from what I normally do, but I will pull them all out. An opportunity for you to take your life to the next level, okay? There is a material aspect here, but more so I see this as collaborating with people who have similar, who are on similar more similar vibrations, if I can speak, rather than here, like this is people you just go have drinks with, people you watch sports with, people you just go do things with, but there might not really be a true connection. This is a connection that is more practical. And I like to be, if I'm being honest, because you have Virgo in the 10th house, okay? Virgo in the 10th house, also actually all earth, Taurus and Capricorn in sort of the earth houses, right? Anyone who has a fire in the first house has earth in the 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses. And the earth in their natural earth placements do give that kind of need for practical relationships, you know, and you need connections that actually like kind of make sense, you know, where you're on the same wavelength. And the Three of Pentacles is like, yeah, you can come and talk to these people about pretty much anything. Whereas these kinds of people, you can only really talk about like what so-and-so did. There's an element of gossip. There's an element of, you know, like, I don't know how else to say it, just gossip. But this is not a gossip quality at all. This is how do we help bring consciousness to the world, and I'm really dealing with the situation. How do I make it better? You know, how do I contribute to the goodness of humanity? You know, all those kinds of things. Let's pull these out here. Wheel of Fortune reversed as an indication of Jupiter retrograde, okay? We are closing out the retrograde, so it won't last reversed forever, okay? Eight of Wands is an indication of a lot of movement in your life. You are being hurled into a new realm of existence, whether you like it or not. And the good thing about Sagittarius is you don't cling to stuff. You know, you're not like someone that pines over things, you know, which is a really beneficial quality for you to have, because you're not ever holding yourself back. The Eight of Wands is a card of good things coming. Okay, things that you want, things that you have been working for. You know, there's an element of success with whatever it is. There's also travel here too, so just FYI on that. Let's see what all the other cards were. There were quite a bit. So 10 of Cups reversed, 8 of Swords reversed, the Fool. Okay. Clearly there's a connection. Okay, we have a Cancer and a Taurus quality happening here. I don't know which one you are. Some of you are going to be the king, some of you are going to be the queen, all right? But either way, there's a feminine quality happening here, a spiritual connection. Again, it goes very, very well actually with the 3 of Coins. If this is a romantic connection, this is one based on practicality and emotional security. I gotta say, I love a Queen of Cups and a King of Pentacles combination. They complement each other enough, but they also don't completely, they're still in line with one another. They are different enough that they bring different strengths to the table, but those strengths work well together. Okay, there's no competition, there's no conflict there. You may be hearing from someone just kind of via a little text message or something quite, basic and simple. You are breaking free from any kind of tunnel vision, anything that you have felt has been holding you back, anything that you have felt that has restricted you. If you are still feeling restricted, please know that once Jupiter starts coming direct and moving closer and closer to your sign, which is, I think it's November is when it actually transits into your sign. Don't quote me on that. I think November. That's when officially all these swords are going to completely dissolve and this Wheel of Fortune turns back in the upright position, okay? Right now is not a time to be overly idealistic. Now is a time to just simply accept what is, okay? Keep your kind of ideals to yourself unless you are specifically asked. Keep your opinions to yourself unless you are specifically asked. All right, because you are in a position right now to really hurt people's feelings if you're not diplomatic. And because of people's hypersensitivity, more than likely they will perceive you as being undiplomatic, okay? I'll clarify this connection here in the comprehensive reading because I'm not sure really what this is. Clearly there's a new beginning of some kind. I don't know, there's going to be some sort of an exchange happening between you and someone else. The exchange is likely going to be positive, but also likely not the most productive either. Meaning there's not a lot of movement with that connection. So if it's romantic, you might just sort of touch base, but it's not going to be this life-changing whirlwind romance, all right? If it's a business transaction, which is very likely that you'll be doing a lot of business stuff, it's just in the idea phase right now. Mars retrograde is not a time to be pushing anything forward, okay? I would wait till August and September, even October, for anything to really sort of, for you to really strive to get things like totally off the ground, okay? Now is a time to maintain your composure, as we see with the 9 of Cups, to maintain composure, to maintain dignity. Keep your dignity, okay? Hopefully others will also maintain their dignity. We'll see. Hopefully others will do that too, okay? All right, Sagittarius, I wish you nothing but the best this month. Thank you so much. If you want to join me on my website for the comprehensive reading, I'll put the link down below. A lot to clarify for sure, a lot of reversals going on, so we'll see what's going on with all that. All right, thank you guys so much. Take care.